Hello everyone, and welcome back to Horror Talks with Tate with another episode. My name is Tate, and I'm your host for this podcast, and I am so happy to be back again to tell you all about another horror movie. In this podcast, as usual, we plunge into the depth of intricate plots, delve into rich character development, thematic elements, explores director's cuts, and so much more within the horror genre. So anyway, for this episode, we will be discovering the fourth installment of the Alien franchise called Alien Resurrection. And it follows 200 years later after Alien 3, and the scientists were cloning Ripley after her death, and they used Ripley to help them with the Xenomorph. Let's head into spooky summaries and discuss the plot details for Alien Resurrection. The story unfolds 200 years after the harrowing events of Alien 3, where the legend of Ellen Ripley, the heroine who sacrificed herself to stop the Xenomorph threat, lives on in an unexpected way. Scientists aboard the advanced research vessel, the USM Auriga, have achieved a groundbreaking yet ethically questionable feat. They have successfully cloned Ripley from the remains of her DNA. Their ultimate goal is to extract the Queen Xenomorph embryo that was nestled within her at the time of her tragic death. Against all odds, the experiments succeed, but it comes with an unforeseen consequences. The cloning proceed has not only brought Ripley back to life, but has also infused her with disturbing alien traits. No longer entirely human, Ripley now possesses enhanced physical abilities, such as extraordinary strength, heightened reflexes, and the eerie characteristic of acid blood leaking her face even closer to the creature she once fought so desperately to destroy. Now, horror fans, it's time to go to discrete directors and discover how was the movie created, who directed it, and so much more within Alien Resurrection. The movie was directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet and was written by Joss Whedon. Jeunet infused Alien Resurrection with a visual rich and surreal aesthetic. The film is filled with unusual color palettes, including sickly greens and browns, which give it a murky, underworldly look. The set design is highly detailed, often with a malformed, almost steampunk feel. The actors and characters are Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley, Winona Ryder as Annalee Cole, Ron Perlman as Johnner, and Dominic Pinions as Voorhees. Alien Resurrection is a distinctive entry in the Alien franchise that blends elements of horror, action, and dark humor with a more stylized and quirky approach. The film features a diverse cast of characters, each with their own unique style, reflecting the film's offbeat tone. Here's an overview of the key actors' styles in Alien Resurrection. Number 1, Sigourney Weaver. In Alien Resurrection, Sigourney Weaver takes on the new version of Ellen Ripley, who has been cloned and genetically altered with Xenomorph DNA. Weaver's performance is more nuanced and layered, blending Ripley's familiar toughness with a new sense of double talk and alienness. This version of Ripley is physically stronger, more instinctive, and at times display almost animalistic traits. Weaver plays Ripley with a mix of detachment and dark humor, capturing the character's struggles with her identity and connection to the Xenomorph. Her portrayal is both eerie and compelling, adding depth to the film's exploration of what it means to be human. Number 2. Winona Ryder as Cole. Ryder plays Annalee Cole, a member of the mercenary crew, and later reveals to be an android. Her performance is subtle and introspectful, with Cole often coming across as sensitive and empathic, a contrast of the other more hardened character. Ryder brings a sense of vulnerability and moral conviction to the role, emphasizing Cole's internal conflicts about her identity and purpose. Her quiet intensity and emotional depth make Cole a central character, especially as she forms a bond with Ripley. Number 3. Ron Perlman as Johnner. Perlman's portrayal of Johnner, a brushed and crude mercenary, is brash, loud, and unapologetically aggressive. Perlman brings a physical presence and dark humor to the role, making Johnner a memorable and irreverent attitude. His performance adds a layer of grim comedy to the film, balancing out some of the darker themes with his over-the-top, almost cartoonish bravado. Number 4. Dominique Pinion as Voorhees. Pinion plays Voorhees, a disabled mechanic of the mercenary crew, with a blend of sarcasm and resilience. Despite his physical limitations, Voorhees is portrayed as resourceful and quick-witted, often providing technical solutions in dire situations. Pinion's performance is understated, yet he brings a quirky charm and dry humor to the character, making Voorhees a sympathetic and likable figure within the crew. The film has a more surreal and darkly humorous tone compared to its predecessors, with a narrative structure that blends horror, action, and science fiction while exploring themes of identity, humanity, and the consequences of playing God. Here's a breakdown to its narrative structure. Rebirth of Ripley. The film opens 200 years after the events of Alien 3, with scientists aboard the spaceship USM Auriga successfully cloning Ellen Ripley from blood samples taken before her death. This clone, known as Ripley 8, retains some of Ripley's memories, but also has altered DNA due to the alien queen embryo that was inside her when she died. This introduces the central theme of identity and the blurred line between human and alien. Introduction to the setting and characters. The USM Auriga is a military research vessel where immortal experiments are being conducted to breed and study xenomorphs using the alien queens extracted from Ripley 8. The narrative introduces a group of space greedy who unknowingly bring human hosts for the aliens to the ship, setting the stage for the unavoidable outbreak. Alien Resurrection takes the Alien franchise into a new, more surreal and visual distinctive setting. The film is set 200 years after the events of Alien 3 on a massive military spaceship called the USM Auriga. The setting of Alien Resurrection blends futuristic military aesthetics with a deformed and biomedical atmosphere, reflecting the film's themes of genetic experimentation and the blurred lines between humanity and monstrosity. USM Auriga. The ship. The USM Auriga is a large maze-like spaceship controlled by the United Systems military. Unlike the industrial and practical designs of previous ships in the series, the Auriga has a more clinical and sterile appearance, though it's still filled with dark, shadowy corners and eerie, echoing corridors, laboratories, and facilities. Much of the film takes place in the ship's scientific lab, where unaesthetical genetic experiments are conducted. These labs are stark, cold, and filled with high-tech equipment, giving the settings a creepy, sterile feel. The experiments themselves, including the colony of Ripley and the Xenomorph, add a prosthetic element to the environment, blending science fiction with body horror. Alien Resurrection takes the Alien franchise in a more stylized and unconventional direction, and this is reflected in its music and sound design. Here's an overview, starting with music. Composure. The score for Alien Resurrection was composed by John Frizzell, known for his work in horror and thriller films. Style. Frizzell's score is a blend of orchestral and electronic elements with a focus on creating an eerie, unsettling atmosphere. The music incorporates the variety of texture from lush strings to dissonant industrial sounds, reflecting the film's blend of horror, science fiction, and dark humor. Now for sound design. The sound design for Alien Resurrection was created by Randy Thom and his team. Thom is known for his work on films that requires complex and immersive soundscapes. John Frizzell's score and the sound design for Alien Resurrection contributes to the film's distinctive tone, which mix horror with dark humor and action. The music's eerie, dissonant themes and the film's unsettling soundscape work together to create a world that is both grotesque and strangely compelling, reflecting the hybrid nature of the film's character and the bizarre twists of its plot. The result is a unique auditory experience that stands apart from the previous entries in the Alien franchise. After the mixed reception of Alien 3, 20th Century Fox was still interested in continuing the franchise, but there was uncertainty about how to proceed, especially given the definitive ending of Alien 3, where Ellen Ripley sacrificed herself. The studio decided to bring Ripley back in a way that would allow for a fresh story while still maintaining continuity with the previous films. The budget for the film was $70 million. Joss Whedon, who was known for his work in television and would later become famous for creating Buffy the Vampire Slayer and directing The Avengers, was hired to write the script. Whedon's concept involves cloning Ripley, which allowed the story to explore new themes and ideas, particularly the consequences of tampering with nature and the fusion of human and alien biography. Alien Resurrection was released in the 26th of November 1997 with mixed reviews. Critics and audience were divided over the film's tone and direction, with some appreciating the fresh take on the series, while others were disappointed by the departure from the franchise roots. Sigourney Weaver's performance was generally praised, as was the film's visual style, but the story and character development received more criticism. Financially, the film was modestly successful, grossing over $160 million worldwide. However, it didn't achieve the same level of impact or acclaims as the first two films in the series. The rating of the movie are the IMDb score of 6.2 out of 10 and a Rotten Tomato score of 56%. Let's talk about the awards. Saturn Awards. Nominated for Best Science Fiction Film, Best Actress, Sigourney Weaver. Best Supporting Actress, Winona Ryder. Best Makeup, and Best Special Effects. Blockbuster Entertainment Awards, nominated for Favorite Actress of Science Fiction, Sigourney Weaver. Alien Resurrection was also noted for its dark, surreal aesthetic, which reflected director Jean-Pierre Jeunet's distinctive style. Although the film did not receive widespread critical acclaim, it has a cult following and is appreciated for its unique approach of the alien mythos. While it didn't achieve the same level of honor as the earlier films in the series, Alien Resurrection was still acknowledged for its performance and technical craftsmanship, particularly in the areas of special effects and makeup. Alien Resurrection remains a polarizing entry in the Alien franchise. For some, it's a bold and creative film that dared to take the series in a new direction. For others, it's a misstep that spread too far from what made the original Alien films great. The film's unique tone and style has earned it a cult following, particularly among fans of Jean-Pierre Jeunet's work, but it also marks the end of the original Alien film series for a time. The Alien franchise would later be revisited with the Alien vs. Predator films and Ridley Scott's prequels, Prometheus and Alien Covenant. But Alien Resurrection remains a distinct and somewhat controversial chapter in the series' history. Alien Resurrection brought a distinct visual style and the emphasis on both practical and digital effects to the Alien franchise. Here's a breakdown for the props, weapons, and CGIs used in the film, starting with props. Number 1. Xenomorphs and newborn alien. The film introduces new designs for the Xenomorph, emphasizing the biomedical appearance. The newborn alien, a hybrid creature born from a human-alien DNA mix, was a practical animatronic puppet, one of the most complex in the film, with a more human-like appearance than previous xenomorphs. Number 2. Cloning chamber and medical equipment. A significant part of the film revolves around cloning experiments, resulting in the resurrection of Ripley. The cloning chamber and various medical props were highly detailed, designed to look futuristic yet sinister. The lab also featured the gruesome failed Ripley clones, which were practical effects using prosthetics and animatronic. Number 3. Facehugger props. As in previous films, the facehuggers were practical puppets with advanced animatronics to create more lifelike movements during the attack scenes. Now for weapons. Number 1. Ellen Ripley's acid blood and superhuman strength. Due to her cloning, Ripley has some xenomorph traits, including acid blood. This is used creatively as a weapon in certain scenes. Additionally, her enhanced strength allowed her to fight the xenomorphs in more physical and dynamic ways. Number 2. Assault rifles and pistols. The mercenaries aboard the Auriga use a variety of futuristic weapons, including customized assault rifles and pistols. These were designed to look functional and rugged, fitting the gritty tone of the film. And number 3, grenades and explosives. Various explosive devices are used throughout the film, including a memorable scene where a grenade is used in zero gravity to destroy an alien. Now for CGI and special effects. Alien Resurrection made significant use of CGI, more than any previous film in the franchise. Here are some key examples. Number 1, digital xenomorphs. While practical effects were still heavily used, CGI was employed for some of the more complex xenomorph movements, particularly in scenes where they swim underwater or climb through narrow space. Number 2, zero gravity effects. The film features several zero gravity scenes where CGI was used to enhance the realism of character and objects floating or moving in space. Now for practical effects and techniques. Number 1, animatronics and puppetry. The film heavily relied on animatronics for the xenomorphs and the newborn alien. These practical effects were meticulously detailed, with the newborn being one of the most advanced animatronic creatures of its time, capable for a wide range of facial expressions and movement. Number 2, makeup and prosthetics. The grotesque failed Ripley clones were created using detailed prosthetics and makeup effects, adding to the horror and tragedy of the scene where Ripley confronts her failed predecessors. Alien Resurrection pushed the boundaries of the franchise effects work, blending practical effects with CGI in a way that was innovative for its time. The film's distinct visual style, combining Jean-Pierre Jeunet's surrealist sensibilities with the established alien aesthetic, created a unique entry in the series. While options on the film's story and tone are mixed, the technical achievements, particularly in creature design and effects work, are widely recognized. In Alien Resurrection, foreshadowing is used to build tension and set up key plot points, often with a mix of document and prosthetic imagery. Here are some examples of foreshadowing in Alien Resurrection. Number 1, Ripley's DNA and behavior. Early in the film, it's revealed that Ripley has been cloned from the remains of the previous Ripley and that her DNA has been mixed with that of the xenomorphs. Her strange behavior, such as her enhanced strength, reflex, and acid blood, foreshadows the later revelation that she has been genetically altered and shares a deep connection with the xenomorphs. This sets up her ambiguous nature throughout the film as she struggles with her human and alien sides. Number 2, the failed clones. Ripley discovers a lab filled with grotesque failed clones of herself, including one that is still alive but horribly deformed. This scene foreshadows the film's exploration, genetic manipulation, and the horrors of playing with nature. It also hints at the potential consequences of the cloning proceed, both for Ripley and the aliens, leading to eventual creation of the human-alien hybrid, the newborn. These foreshadowing elements in Alien Resurrection contributes to the film's atmosphere of unease and anticipation, settings the stage for its exploration of identity, aesthetics, and the horror of human-alien hybridization. Now, let's get to the last segment of this podcast, Insane Insiders, and discover the Easter eggs, fun facts, and what are the audience review for the movie. Alien Resurrection introduces new elements and themes while still paying homage to its predecessors. Here are some Easter eggs and hidden details from the film. Number 1, Ripley's number 8. The version of Ripley in Alien Resurrection is the eighth clone created by the scientists in an attempt to bring her back along with the Xenomorph Queen. The number 8 is significant, symbolizing the imperfect yet powerful combination of human and alien DNA within her. It's also a subtle nod to her transformation into a more complex character with alien traits. Number 2. Homage to the original film. Alien Resurrection contains several visual and thematic nods to the original Alien. For example, the scene where Ripley 8 encounters the alien queen in the hive has visual parallels to her encounter with the queen in Aliens. The dimly lit industrial setting and tense atmosphere are direct callbacks to the claustrophobic feel of the original film. And number 3, Weyland-Yutani's Legends. Although the Weyland-Yutani Corporation is no longer in control, its influence is still felt. The scientist working for the United System military in Alien Resurrection continues the corporation's legends of reckless experimentation with xenomorphs, highlighting the enduring theme of corporate greed and the exploitation of alien life forms. Here are some fun facts about Alien Resurrection. Number 1. Directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet. Alien Resurrection was directed by French filmmaker Jean-Pierre Jeunet, known for his distinctive visual style seen in films like Delicacies and The City of Lost Children. His quirky, surreal aesthetic brought a different tone to the Alien series. Number 2. Ripley's Return. Sigourney Weaver returned as Ellen Ripley, despite her character's death in Alien 3. In Resurrection, Ripley is cloned 200 years after her death, with the Xenomorph Queen embryo still inside her. This leads to a new version of Ripley, who has enhanced strength and acid blood due to the DNA. Number 3. The script by Joss Whedon. The screenplay for Alien Resurrection was written by Joss Whedon, who would later become famous for creating Buffy the Vampire Slayer and directing The Avengers. Whedon's script originally had a different tone, but changes during production altered much of his vision. And number 4, tone and reception. Alien Resurrection had a more comedic and bizarre tone compared to the previous films in the series, which led to the divided reception. Some appreciated its unique approach and dark humor, while others felt it strayed too far from the horror roots of the original films. The film continues the story of Ellen Ripley, but in a very different tone and style compared to its predecessors. Audience reviews for Alien Resurrection are generally mixed, with options vary widely depending on individual preference. Here's a summary on common themes in audience reviews, starting with positive. Number 1, unique visual style. Many viewers appreciate the film's distinct visual style, which is a hallmark of Jeunet's direction. The movie has a dark, gothic atmosphere mixed with quirky, almost surreal elements, which some find visual compelling and the refreshing change from the previous entries. Number 2, Sigourney Weaver's performance. Once again, Sigourney Weaver's performance as Ripley is a highlight. This time, she plays a clone version of Ripley with a darker, more complex personality. Audience often commend her for bringing a new, intriguing dimension to the character. Number 3, action sequences. The film contains several well-executed action scenes that are praised by fans of science fiction and action genre. The underwater chase sequences is often mentioned as a standout moment. Number 4, dark humor. The script, written by Joss Whedon, injects a dose of dark humor into the film, which some viewers find entertaining and a welcome change of pace. The film's bizarre mix of horror, action, and humor applies to those who enjoy a more offbeat style. And number 5, creative creature design. The film introduces new variation of the Xenomorph, including the controversial newborn creature. While divisive, some fans appreciate the creativity and ambition behind these designs. Now, for negative reviews. Number 1, tone and style. The movie's tone and style are often criticized for being too far removed from the horror and suspense of the original films. The blend of horror, action, and dark comedy doesn't resonate with all viewers, and some find it jarring or inconsistent. Number 2, story and writing. The plot for Alien Resurrection, which involves cloning Ripley and the creation of hybrid aliens, is seen by some as convoluted and lacking the depth or seriousness of the previous films. The story's direction is often viewed as a departure from the franchise's core themes. Number 3, character development. Some audience members feel like that the characters, apart from Ripley, are underdeveloped or unlikable. The supporting cast, including the crew of the spaceship, Betty, doesn't resonate with all viewers, leading to a lack of emotional investment in their fates. Number 4, the newborn creature. The design and concept for the newborn alien, a hybrid creature introduced in the film's climax, is particularly polarizing. While some appreciated its grotesque uniqueness, others find it off-putting and out of place in the Alien universe. Number 5, overall legends. Many fans of the original Alien films view Alien Resurrection as a weaker entry in the series. While it has its moments, it often seen as failing to capture the same level of tension, horror, or narrative coherence that made the earlier films iconic. Alien Resurrection is a divisive film that takes the Alien franchise in a more stylistic and quirky direction. While some appreciate its unique visual style, action scenes, and Sigourney Weaver's performance, others feel it strayed too far from the elements that made the franchise great. It often is regarded as an ambitious but flawed entry, with a mix of both emergers and distractors. Before we wrap up today's episode, I'm going to tell you all about my thoughts and feelings about Alien Resurrection. I absolutely love this movie just as much as the others in the series. It masterfully blends elements of comedy and science fiction, creating a unique and engaging experience that keeps you on the edge of your seat. The way the Xenomorphs are portrayed is nothing short of terrifying, with its menacing appearance enhanced through brilliant special effects and atmospheric tension, making them even more frightening than before. The film's ability of seamlessly balanced humor with horror adds a fresh layer to the classic sci-fi narrative, making it a standout entry in the franchise. Well, everyone, this concludes today's episode. Thank you so much for listening, and I will be back next time to talk about the 5th installment of the Alien franchise called Prometheus. Don't forget to follow, rate, and review this podcast to grow more horror fans like yourselves. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter to stay tuned for upcoming episodes and exciting news. YouTube channel and TikTok are in the bio on Instagram, so please go check them out. Just remember, you are always not safe in the spaceship with the Xenomorphs around, like in the other films that I said it. Thank you so much for tuning in, horror fans, and stay spooky, and be sure to watch Alien Resurrection.